Winston.
Just have fun out there.
The latest addition to the John Wick franchise, John Wick Chapter 4, has taken the world by storm, and the overwhelming success has triggered a special interest in a few spin-off projects among the fans. In this video, we will bring you information about every single John Wick spin-off that you can hope to see in the near future. A couple of them are confirmed projects, while the others are thriving on speculations and interest shown by the actors and producers. And here is all you need to know about them. Before we dive into the speculated John Wick spin-offs and mystery projects, let us first explore the status of the two officially confirmed spin-offs by Lionsgate, the Continental and Ballerina. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like the content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. What is happening around the Continental? This mini-series has been stuck in development for several years, but finally there are some concrete answers regarding its release. This 3-episode series will tell the backstory of the Continental Hotel and two of its most crucial members, Winston, the manager of the Continental, and Sharon, his concierge. Both these characters are absolute fan favorites, with the roles of Winston and Sharon being played by Ian McShane and the late Lance Reddick, respectively, and it seems like the prayers of those who wanted to know more about their backstory have been answered. The show will focus on the younger days of these two, and it is supposed to serve as a prequel to the events of the John Wick movie franchise. The showrunners claimed that a prequel gave them more freedom to weave the story how they want because the events of the movies will not interrupt the narrative. Sometimes spin-off shows of action flicks tend to go soft in terms of the action, and John Wick producer Erica Lee assured the fans they aren't going to compromise in this regard. She further revealed that we will get to see 3 90-minute long episodes, and the markers will ensure the specific brand of action that fans are used to seeing in the John Wick universe. She even said that episodes 1 and 3 will be majorly action sequences along with storytelling, while episode 2 will focus more on the lore. It is being developed by Greg Coolidge, Kirk Ward, and Sean Simmons, and Mel Gibson is reportedly going to be a part of the series. Colin Woodle is going to star as a young Winston, and a newcomer actor, Ayomide Adigun, will play the role of a young Sharon. The best part about this spin-off series is that Chad Stahelski, the director of the John Wick movies, is one of the executive producers, and we will hope that his creative inputs, if any, will be implemented. The show was initially supposed to be released on Starz, but things did not work out, and the project shifted to Peacock. Now the release date is set to be later this year, sometime around September, and it wouldn't be long before we can join the dots on all the missing links in the movies from the narrative of this 3-episode series. Ballerina, the Ana de Armas starrer John Wick spin-off, is worth all the hype. Lionsgate has every reason to have high hopes for this John Wick spin-off movie because it determines their way ahead in many ways. While the Continental is a TV series, Ballerina will be released as a movie, and unlike the Continental, Keanu Reeves will reprise his role as John Wick for this movie. Naturally, excitements are high even though John Wick will be a secondary character in this movie. The story will be focused around the ballerina-turned-assassin Rooney, who was previously seen briefly in John Wick Chapter 3, where Unity Felon played a role. This time around, it will be Ana de Armas slipping into the character, and this is all set to be another revenge drama, where the protagonist is seeking to avenge her murdered family. A successful outing will mean that the audience is prepared to watch a good story even if John Wick is not taking the limelight, and this would inspire the studio to try out many other spin-off possibilities going ahead. Directed by Len Wiseman, the events of this movie will be premised between John Wick Chapter 3 and the recent released John Wick Chapter 4, and it will also star Ian McShane, Angelica Huston, and the late Lance Reddick. This makes it all the more important because Ballerina might be the last time you get to see Sharon, played by Lance Reddick, on the big screen, as he filmed a major part of the role before his death. Joe Drake, the Lionsgate Motion Picture Group chairman, seemed optimistic about this project, and although he did not reveal any official release date, he indicated that the studio is trying to release this in 2024. You can expect Ballerina to go on the floors by next year's spring and summer, and as fans of the franchise, we simply cannot keep calm.
The only way John Wick will ever have freedom.
What is the current status of John Wick Chapter 5? Now that John Wick Chapter 4 has become one of the most loved action movies of all time, it is not surprising that people are demanding to know more about the plans surrounding John Wick Chapter 5. Previously in August 2020, Lionsgate CEO John Feldheimer had announced that the 5th movie in the John Wick franchise would be developed alongside the 4th. However, the director, Chad Stahelski, was not in favor of such a rushed project, and the studio delayed the 5th installment until further notice. After the astounding success of the recent release, Chad Stahelski has admitted that he is quite intrigued by the possibility of John Wick Chapter 5. The problem, though, is for those who have watched the recently released movie will know is that the titular protagonist is apparently dead and buried next to his wife. How can there be a John Wick movie without the man himself? Chad Stahelski suggested that it is far too early to speculate on the contents of John Wick 5, but he certainly did not rule out the possibility. He even dropped hints that he's still thinking about the character arc of John Wick, indicating that the dreaded assassin might not be really dead. Besides, there is a post-credit scene in John Wick Chapter 4 which suggests that the blind assassin Kane and Akira might have a story of their own brewing for the next project. Overall, there is every reason to be hopeful about John Wick Chapter 5 because wherever there is demand, there is supply. But don't expect the movie to be announced anytime soon because currently it is barely in the brainstorming process.
Not just the technical or the craftsmanship aspect, but also the business side and the creative side.
Did the producer of John Wick just confirm another spin-off movie? It seems like this is truly the golden era of the John Wick franchise, and the creators believe in the complete utilization of the hype surrounding the recent release. Recently, Erica Lee, the producer of John Wick Chapter 4, has confirmed a spin-off movie in development aside from the already announced Ballerina. She spilled the beans during an interview with Collider, where she admitted that her team is developing another film that will be announced in the next couple of months. You can count her announcement as a semi-official verdict on the new movie, but she refused to delve further into the matter, and the content of this spin-off remains a mystery. Erica Lee also seemed hopeful about Ballerina 2 and John Wick 5 going ahead, and stated that all resources are being utilized to develop multiple projects and discussions are ongoing with various writers for the same. It does seem like a busy time ahead for the John Wick universe, and we surely aren't complaining.
Will honor its word. You'll have your freedom.
Is there going to be a Mr. Nobody spin-off? Mr. Nobody, aka The Tracker, has undoubtedly been one of the most interesting additions to the franchise in the recent release. This mysterious assassin and his canine friend have played a crucial role in the journey of John Wick, where Mr. Nobody eventually decided against killing John after the latter saved his dog from certain death. He was quite an enigmatic character who was portrayed as someone who could kill John Wick but was waiting for the right price. He needed an insanely large sum of money for some reason, and this drove him to take up the bounty on the Baba Yaga of the assassin world. He even prevented others from killing John Wick in order to protect his bounty, which effectively made him the hitman's ally in certain scenes. Shamir Anderson did a fine job in playing the role, and the actor expressed his interest in the possibility of a Mr. Nobody spin-off starring Halle Berry. If you remember the events of John Wick Chapter 3, Halle Berry played the role of Sophia, another mysterious assassin with two ferocious dogs, and many fans have speculated some kind of link between Mr. Nobody and Sophia. Shamir Anderson admitted that the similarities between the two characters are undeniable, and he also suggested that Mr. Nobody's monetary requirements could be linked to his family. A spin-off story featuring the backstory of the Tracker could be very interesting, because we can finally know why he was elaborately planning to amass a massive sum of money by killing John Wick. Also, now that he gave up on his prized bounty, how is he going to make amends? We don't know about you, but watching this gray character alongside Sophia in a hostile world of assassins is certainly worth our time.
Only comes after a good life.
Donnie Yen is interested in a Kane spin-off. The blind assassin Kane has been a fascinating addition to the franchise, and Donnie Yen, the actor playing the role, has been appreciated by fans and critics alike for his performance. This renowned martial artist and Ip Man star has been quite vocal about his excitement regarding being a part of the John Wick franchise. His experience of working with Keanu Reeves has been terrific, and he admits to being thoroughly invested in the lore. In a recent interview with Variety, Donnie even revealed that he would love to be a part of a John Wick spin-off that is centered around Kane. Naturally, he was asked about the likelihood of this project, and he suggestively replied that Hollywood is never short on talks and speculations. Donnie Yen has a really tight schedule, and it might not be anytime soon, but a spin-off featuring Kane will be a great attraction for the fans. Besides, the climax and post-credit scene of John Wick Chapter 4 do indicate the plans of the makers to feature this impactful character in future projects.
Under the old laws, only one can survive. failure to meet its son.
Marvelous verdict. The more the merrier, only if quality isn't compromised. The legacy of John Wick means that each one of these spin-offs will be burdened by massive expectations from the fans. We hope that the makers can do justice to the esteemed franchise and that the stories are nicely linked to what we have seen so far in the 4 movies. We think that you would all agree that no spin-off is better than a poorly made one. Do let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are on these spin-off projects and which ones excite you the most. Also, tell us about the stories that you would love to see being covered in these spin-offs.
I want you to find your peace. But a good death only comes after.